And that part of transmission is very important because it's a zoonotic disease, as we know, it's an animal disease, animal borne. So if that part of transmission is taken care of, then the other aspect of transmission, which is human to human, will not arise. Is when human gets the disease from the rodent that is able to pass it to another human. So the first line of control is to break the chain of transmission from the rodent to the humans. You understand? So if that one is effectively done, then we have a lesser problem with human to human transmission. However, once a man has been able to take, once one has been able to contact the disease from the rodents, the next challenge is the human to human contact, and it is quite rampant these days because that is where most of us are not able to get it right. Because so our index of suspicion is usually very low.
Okay, how can someone really pass this stuff to human? But that would be after I take our call. Hello. All right, call us 0522900573. So when you say how severe can someone be, before they pass this on to another person?
Yes, once you contact the virus, it takes about 1 to 3 weeks, say about 6 days to 21 days.
That is the incubation period.
Yes, 6 days to 21 days, 21 days before the manifestation of signs and symptoms of the disease. Within that period, obviously, you wouldn't know that you have the infection, and most likely you are not in a position to even transmit it. So the virus would have replicated enough within you to be able to weigh you down, and then you now pass it on. So it's after the incubation period that symptoms will arise, and usually fever will be there, and the temperature will be quite high, usually above 38 degrees centigrade. And we know just the characteristic feelings you have when you have the common malaria fever, are the early symptoms that you have. However, we've had cases of asymptomatic infection that people would catch the virus, they've been infected with the virus and will not come down with symptoms. We've had cases like that, especially in very endemic areas. But if the symptoms start, like you have malaria, you're having fever, body pain, weakness, and all that, more often than not, vomiting is always there. You do your usual fever treatment because we're in the malaria endemic environment, whole endemic for that matter. So the first feeling that people will have is that I have malaria, let me go and take my usual malaria pills. If after taking your fever and malaria drugs for 2-3 days, you are still not feeling well at all, because usually by the second day of malaria treatment, you should be feeling some relief, even if you are not totally well, you are already feeling some signs of wellness. So if after the third day you are not feeling well at all, rather getting worse, then you should know that it is time to visit the hospital, not to go back to the chemist or to go back to the lab or wherever you feel you go to, or to go to one self-medication center or your peer group or neighbor to ask for further medications. You go straight to the hospital. Especially with this advent of Lassa fever now, you never can tell. So you go straight to the hospital, you see the medical doctor who will examine you, and with the high sensitization they have received over time now, the health workers, the index of suspicion is quite high. Then you'll be subjected to thorough clinical examination and laboratory investigation, which will prove or otherwise whether you have Lassa fever or not.
Okay, I'm actually asking this question against the background. Hello? Good afternoon. Hello?
My name is Chekube.
All right, Chekube, good afternoon.
I'm calling from Bioko.
All right, go on. You're welcome to the program.
For instance now, caught the rat.
Yes.
Now the rat injured me with his finger. Will it affect me?
That's if it's the Lassa rat. Hello, Chekube.
Yes.
Is it just any rat, or if it's the Lassa rat?
It's the Lassa rat.
Okay, that's if the rat rather scratches him with its finger, can it be affected?
Scratching him with the finger means that it has opened up the skin. It gets the risk of infection is even higher. It gets much more easily into the system. Every part of the saliva of the rat, the urine, the feces, every part of his body fluid is contaminated with the virus.
And since it gets scared so easily, it might also have passed.
Exactly. Either urine, feces, saliva, or whatever.
Exactly.
So the risk is even higher.
All right. Okay, so I was actually asking against the background that, we saw on the news that the patient in Ira Specialist Teaching Hospital died from this Lassa fever. And the news also had it that, at some point, the family members had to take the patients home, that, of course, it wasn't Lassa, but they later brought this person back to the hospital where he finally died. So is it possible that he might have contaminated other people in the house, through any means possible?
Which hospital, if I may ask?
Irwa
Teaching Hospital. Yeah, I think Irwa is one of the specialized centers for handling such a case. Usually they should be able to do some laboratory investigations to rule out Lassa fever.
All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Emmanuel, you're welcome to the program.
Yes.
Go on.
Lord, I want to appreciate your effort.
Thank you.
Because it's your public enlightenment. I think is the most important thing here now.
Thank you.
Because I remember sometimes last year we had a problem in respect of Ebola. I believe this very one is similar.
Yeah.
And that shows that the devil is at work. And I know with God, that is now, if we put God forward, the devil is going to put a shame at last.
Amen.
Because the most important thing I talk is that what is the difference between Lassa fever and Ebola? Because it seems both diseases are contagious. And you can have it animals to human and humans to human. And we were told that even in having contact with your fellow person, the person can contact it. So what do we do? What is the difference between this very disease we are having now and that of Ebola of last year? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much, Emmanuel, for your question. It's very pertinent.
Sure.
To start with, they are both hemorrhagic fevers.
Okay.
So they belong to the same family of virus. They are both viral diseases, and the viruses belong to the same family. They are both hemorrhagic fevers. They cause fever, they cause bleeding, and they are both acute febrile illnesses, and the mortality rate is quite high. The difference here now mainly is that the Lassa fever virus or the Lassa fever on its own has the advantage of having drug treatment, which Ebola didn't have. And both of them belong to the same family of febrile illness, and so they are quite deadly.
Yeah,
but for Lassa, there's a drug treatment.
Okay.
But for Ebola, none has been found. And the mortality rate for Ebola seems to be higher. And that's everything. And for us in Nigeria, Ebola was imported, but for Lassa, it's here with us. Lassa is even gained its origin from here in Nigeria. So it's something that we have to really tighten our belt to control effectively. We may not be able to eliminate it, but let's control it.
Okay, so speaking about the treatment now, is it treatable?
Yes, it's treatable. The hallmark of a good prognostic outlook for Lassa fever, that is having a good outcome when you come down with disease, is early diagnosis and prompt treatment. That is why the cry these days have been, let the health worker, the average health worker, be adequately sensitized to be aware that not all fevers are malaria these days, not all fevers are typhoid fever.
All right, Doc. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, Sunday. Good afternoon.
I called before. I have another question to ask.
Go on.
You said in the future it will be a law that everybody must have a cat, right? Like now, if the cat cuts the rat and eats it, will the cat still be infected with the virus? And can the cat still take the virus from the rat to human?
All right.
That's my question.
All right. Thank you very much, Sunday. So.
Okay. Thank you very much. The virus, as you say, is a zoonotic disease.
Yeah.
That's to say, it thrives in the animal environment, the rodent environment. It's the interference of man into that environment that gives it to man. And it does well safely in the rodent, but we don't know about cats.
So
it may not survive very well as it does in the rodent, the way it will survive in the cat. So, and the transmission from cat to man has not been documented.
Okay.
It's the transmission from rat, rodent to man that is well documented, and is the standard mode of transmission that we know about.
Okay, we're looking at the treatment before that call came in.
Yes. So yes, treatment. The antiviral drug that is being used now, ribavirin, is available, but it's not something to be thrown around. It's not an OTC drug. It's not over-the-counter drug. When you see a suspected case, you refer immediately. You don't experiment with other forms of treatment. You refer immediately. Samples will be collected, and the center to refer to, as it were for today now, what we know about is the Ira Specialist Teaching Hospital. That's where you refer to. They have the facilities to test, to diagnose, and to treat. So once you are there, they will take samples, and it will be analyzed. Once it's positive, the treatment is straight away. There was a case you mentioned that a case was missed, got home, and later that could have infected other people. Let me quickly say here that the test being carried out for Lassa fever virus is not 100% efficient, so to say. That is to say, there could be some missed cases. It's a PCR test. The gold standard, as we have been made to know, is when the virus is cultured, or when it is grown serially. We are able to say for sure this is a virus. So the PCR, method has its own limitation, and it is not every sample that can
yield
result. It's not every sample you submit.
Okay.
That can be picked. That the virus can be picked. So if the wrong sample is collected, then you cannot actually get result. With the virus in the blood of an infected person, you will peak at a particular time. That's it will get to the highest point at a particular time. After some time, it goes down. If you take the sample at the time when it has not peaked, or after it has waned, when it has gone down, the likelihood is that you may not pick the virus, but meanwhile it is there. Okay. So that is why we say, when the symptoms are there and the person is very ill, report to the hospital at that time.
Okay, we have a message from someone here, no name, and she's asking about the rats in Central Hospital, most especially the labor ward.
Well, you are telling me something I don't really know much about. I heard that there could be rats in Central Hospital, but it could be found in any other hospital that is, that is not.
And so, if we are meant to eradicate
rats, that is
rats,
not far away from the bush, or that is not.
So, are you now saying it's possible someone might come to the hospital?
Well, if you see a rat there, if you see a rat there, and it falls into the group of rats that we're talking about, then that means the tendency of getting the illness from such an environment will be there. So whether it is an hospital, it is a school, it is a house, it is a marketplace, if you don't keep the place rodent proof, you don't maintain a high level of environmental hygiene, then you have invited rodents like such a rat into your domain. And once they come in, they don't know class, they don't know race, they don't know sex, they don't know age.
Okay.
They can infect anybody.
Okay, what kind of environment is rodent best found that transmits Lassa fever?
Yes, the rats, the rodent enjoy staying around a bushy environment. Its normal habitat is the bush, the field, like the farmland, where it can get into burrow and stay in a cool, quiet place, like a cool, quiet place. So if you disturb the rat in such an environment, you look for a similar place. So you go to the house where you can find a cool, quiet place where there are food particles that it can feed on. It likes feeding on grains like gari, rice, all those grains like millet, corn, and all that. So if those things are littered all over, you happily stay in that cool, quiet place and be eating, and you've had a very comfortable environment. And the rat is very prolific. It can reproduce very fast and in large quantities. Before you know it, the whole house is taken over by the rats.
Okay, before the outbreak of Lassa fever, weren't these Lassa rats living around us? What about other rats? Aren't they contagious? This is from Preston.
No, the other rats will not transmit Lassa fever to man.
Okay.
It's this particular rat that will transmit Lassa fever to man. Let that one be very clear. No other rat will do that. Okay. If these rats have been living with us before time, they've not come to know about this disease, then we will not be talking about it. The first time we came to know about this disease was when 2 missionary nurses died of the disease.
True.
In the village of Lassa in the northeastern Nigeria in 1969. And they were diagnosed, and it was found that they were carrying a peculiar virus which was not known, and it was called Lassa fever virus. Ever since then, it has come to be known, and the outbreak has been identified as such and managed as such.
Okay, so how then can we prevent Lassa fever?
Yes, mainly in 2 folds. One, controlling the transmission from rodent to man, from the Mastomys rats to humans, and that has to do with, one, gaining a good awareness that if your environment is dirty, is rodent or rat friendly, you are inviting all kinds of rats, including the Lassa kind of rats, into your domain. And once they come in, the likelihood is that they will contaminate your environment, and make it very easy for you to come in contact with the virus which they harbor. And once you come in contact with the virus, then you are infected. And once you are infected as a human, the tendency is that you pass it on to another human. This virus thrives in the body fluid, blood, urine, saliva, all kinds of body fluid, and even semen. So we know that if, as a human, you harbor the virus, you are a potential medium of infection. If the person becomes another reservoir, so to say, to another person. So the best bet is that the person should be isolated once diagnosed, and all forms of barrier nursing should be used in managing such a person. So the health workers, once they are aware that the patient is a case of Lassa fever, they know what to do. All the standard precaution methods will be applied, and the prompt treatment with ribavirin, will come into place and the person will be fine. But the only place where Lassa fever treatment has been well established and recommended for treatment is the Irua Specialist Teaching Hospital. So the general advice is that whatever health facility that will discover a Lassa fever patient, such a health worker should refer the patient to Irua Specialist Hospital. Should not be managed in any such health facility, whether private or public.
Okay, I will have to ask this question because right now, rat killer is really thriving in the market. Everybody is buying rat killers. And so this person wants to know if it enters your house and it was killed by rat poison and you inhale it, can you be affected?
Yeah, the virus, as we once said, if it's how will I put it now? If it contaminates what can easily become dusty, you know what I mean?
Okay, let me try and explain this. I think I know what she's talking about. We have various kind of rat killers. We have the one that the normal rat poison that poisons it, and before you know, you start perceiving the smell of the dead rats.
Okay.
It smells, and then you start looking for where it is. So can that smell, infect someone?
Well, if it's the Lassa rat, there's what we call aerosols. Let's say some particles of the contaminant has become airborne and you inhale it.
Yes.
Then it becomes a candidate for Lassa fever infection. Then you are exposed. What you need to do at that point is to go for the tests, after the incubation period to see if you have the disease. But more often than not, let it be very clear to us that it's not every contact that comes down with the disease. As humans, we have a very good immune system, God-given immune system that takes care of so many things that we don't know about. That's why initially I've mentioned that there are asymptomatic infections, people that have come in contact with the virus but yet did not come down with the disease.
Yeah.
So such cases thrives. Even in a very endemic environment, we know that no fewer than 70 to 80% of some infected persons don't come down with the disease. So they will just be a carrier. So you could come in contact with the virus maybe in sub-liter doses. That is doses that are not enough to cause problems to your human system. Then you still will not come down with the disease. However, if you find such a rat in your environment, the best thing is to evacuate and bury and then disinfect the entire house and premises effectively, very, very effectively, and that's when you can be sure that the place is safe.
Okay, before I let you go, firstly, people just want to.
You fail. Next.
For Ameos and Motos, now safety of all our passengers be number one. We dey make sure say we use new motor and driver we qualify carry our passengers reach where them they go. You sabi say many of our road no good. We dey take extra care drive for safety and comfort of our passengers.
Correct. Safety first. Safety first. Ameosa Motors. Now you, Biko. Carry go.
Ameosa carry me go.
Ameosa Motors has lion be king of forest now, so Ameosa Motors be king of the road. Bam.
Do it yourself. We don't come with our Ogbonge program where ITV don't put together to teach you how to become Oga of yourself. We go teach you now how to do the following things: bar soap, toilet soap, liquid soap, ice cream, yogurt, pineapple and all kinds of juice, chalk, candle, hair shampoo, hair relaxer, tie and dye, paint, hair cream and body cream, hair pig, rabbit, snail, grass cutter and fish. We want to train our women how to make cinnamon hats, fish nets, feather hats. This workshop will take place for Glass House Airport Road, and the day will go happen now
23rd and 24th of April 2016.
will be Saturday and Sunday. To take part for this workshop, now check Kele money will be 500 naira. Now you go take collect the form, and 5,000 naira. Now you go pay to do the training. My brothers and sisters, who now do?
Bad my thing by your thing but you nice. Man a rasta you know what you grind. Me fear them bad them. Me wa rush them, bust and me reach them. Them a think up the rush and me beat them. As a rasta myself me go kill them. Me wa murder them, me burn them. Can me see them run them. Oh they want to see on. See me run down. Me wa burn them. What up? If you did plan any bad thing, I'ma do before my head, oh. Gather one, gather two, gather three, I'ma do before my head, oh. See as I rise to the sky. Bad people, them they ask me why. Cause the bad things where them plan, no catch in my head, oh. Man a bad man and no say me give it them. No one me chop ya me run them. That's why me scared me no scare them. They wanna contest me bond them. Yes I'm strong me tough like a lion. Babylon they come get me water. Me no send them, me no mind them. That's what they people on the field. 1, 2, 3 and then 3 and then 4. Me wanna come them me bond them before. Even them home me go round them door. Come here tough and me strong me no want them. What up? If you did plan any bad thing, I'ma do before my head, oh. Gather one, gather two, gather three, I'ma do before my head, oh. See as I rise to the sky. Bad people, them they ask me why. Cause the bad things where them plan, no catch in my head, oh. Me try my best to make it work. The more I try, the Babylon they home. They want run me down. I'm a punch champion, that's what I am. If I said I'm a king, that's what I am. You want contest, happy people be here. I'm Mr. Same, 1, 2, 3, call me ka boom boom. Anytime they call me, go ready boom boom. Me go murder them, me go kill them. That's why they send the hero to here. Me no like them, they no like me. Back when, bad man game. If you dey plan any bad thing, I'ma know before my head, oh. Gather one, gather two, gather three, I'ma know before my head, oh. See as I rise to the sky. Bad people, them they ask me why. Cause the bad things where them plan, no catch in my head, oh. If you dey plan any bad thing, I'ma know before my head, oh. Gather one, gather two, gather three, I'ma know before my head, oh. See as I rise to the sky. Bad people, them they ask me why. Cause the bad things where them plan, no catch in my head, oh. I'm a punch champion now. Who don't know say sugar size? You don't know say champion is a champion. They call me king, that's what me am, you know. You can't change it, nasty production. Who not them? Can them? They can't front me down. They can't scare of the Babylon, they want not your dead, you're not dead warrants.
Welcome to ITV Entertainment Info. Trending right about now, Davido brags about his wristwatches. El Presido of Deep End Records, duped by fraudsters. The Agege bread hawker now turned model to be interviewed by CNN. Davido, aka OBO, is at it again, this time bragging with his wristwatches, claiming they can buy 20 cars at a go. Davido, who promised to give out 20 million naira to a loyal fan whenever he comes back to Nigeria, was asked by a fan of his on Twitter how many wristwatches he has, and he answered, 2, but they can buy 2 cars. LOL, laugh out loud. He later added, I could be cocky sometimes, you know. Another LOL. Thank God he knows.
Money the bank is too long. We eating all the flesh, even bonga.
Fast-rising rapper signed to Deep End's record, El Presido, was duped of his sign-on fee a month ago. The rapper, who feels so bad over the incident, opened up to our entertainment news desk this way.
I don't want to talk anything about that now because I'm not really happy. And my managers are working on that.
Simi is so pissed about the incident and doesn't want to talk about it. The Agege bread seller who walked into fame while a photo section was ongoing between Tiwa Bello and UK-based rapper Tiny Temper Olajumoke is to feature in a CNN special report soonest. According to her management, CNN is interested in her story and will be spotlighting on her road to fame and glory soonest. Olajumoke, the Agege bread hawker, is a trained hairstylist and now does an internship job with a Lebanese firm and is about to start walking the wrong way anytime soon. That's been Entertainment Info on ITV.
Did you know that your body is an incredible machine that must be taken adequate care of as it breaks down? Keep